What is going on in the NBA? Why is up and down is up? Explain it.
I think it gives you hope, Perloff. And here's why.
Okay.
I see there's no longer tape on your fingers, so your hands must be doing a little bit better. And I know that you're working on your jump shot a lot. You come off to me as an undrafted free agent signing, probably well past your eligibility, coming up this year for the Heat, and maybe you'll be knocking down jumpers next year in South Beach.
I have to tell you, you do laugh about that. Last night, Duncan Robinson, not only was he hitting threes, he was taking the ball to the hole. I felt like I was taking the ball to the hole. You know how during the PGA this weekend, everyone's like, oh, this PGA pro, Michael Block, he's us out there. He's a normal guy.
Not.
Well, he's a PGA pro. He's not a professional golfer, and he was competing with the big boys. Anyway, that's what I felt like watching Duncan Robinson last night for the Heat. But to me, it's not because these guys are playing well. The story of that series is Boston no-showing. I could not believe it had nothing to do with talent, has nothing to do with team construction. It was just their heart was not into it. And how can your heart not be into Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals?
It's one thing when you're on the verge of losing a series, but it's another thing to just quit and go down without a fight. And that effort last night, if you even want to call that, by the Boston Celtics, was flat out embarrassing. And Jason Tatum can't hit a shot in the fourth quarter. That's been documented. The game was over by the fourth quarter, but he literally has not hit a shot in the fourth quarter of this series. Guy scored 51 points up against your Sixers. Sorry to bring that up. Jaylen Brown has been abysmal, and Joe Mazzulla is in over his head. I've never heard a coach, when you lose in a series, admit last night that there's a disconnect between his team and the guy that's running the team and Joe Mazzulla. It's crazy, but if you go throughout this postseason, we've seen signs that maybe we should have saw this coming with the Celtics because they didn't have a killer instinct in the first round, and that series up against Philly should have never got 2-7 games, and they needed to throw everything they could behind their punch to just get to this spot.
You telling me knocking out Atlanta in 6 doesn't impress you?
Not at all.
I'm just kidding. Of course not. First of all, you rip everybody, Zach. You're generally...
Do I really?
Yeah. No, but in
Is
a
that
good
my
way.
reputation? I rip everyone around here?
No, but you
I think I just hold people accountable.
Right. You like to hold people accountable. Let's put it this way. There's a guy out there on Twitter who does not rip anybody, does not hold anyone accountable. His name is Irvin Magic Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you follow him on Twitter. Yes. He's never ripped anyone. Last night, he throws out this tweet about the Celtics. I almost lost it. In my 44 years of being associated with the NBA, I never thought I'd see a Boston Celtics team, a franchise with 17 championships, quit.
Wow.
I know Celtics fans all over the world must be disgusted and devastated. Now, normally, Magic just tweets the score and congrats Heat on a nice win. He called out the Celtics. It's incredible to me because I think normally if the team just lost, if they were worse, we'd all be fine. You know what? Even if the coach was inferior, Joe Mazzulla probably shouldn't be the coach there. He was raised up at the last minute because Ime Udoka was basically fired.
Couldn't keep it in his pants.
Yeah, they didn't have time to really make a plan there. So I think if the coach was bad, we could live with that. Just the combination of everything, the lack of effort, is disgusting. Magic always smiling. He was disgusted, Zach. So if Magic's disgusted, you must be really disgusted.
I don't want to rain on the parade of Nuggets fans and also Miami Heat fans, because if you're a fan of either of those two teams, this is stress-free, it's wonderful, and it's awesome. But for everybody else, we're sitting here and we're just looking really more so at the Celtics compared to the Lakers, and we just go, ooh. And it's been absolutely disgusting. And you're right with what you just said about Magic Johnson. And it's also funny because he never really rips anyone. And for him to do that and say that's about as harsh of a Magic Johnson as you're going to get.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, the best part so far of the NBA postseason has been the NBA on TNT studio show. Without them, there would not be a lot of entertainment. The way that Shaq and Charles were just, you think I like to rip people.
Yeah.
Charles Barkley, it was his greatest night of broadcasting probably with how much he was just torching. And I mean torching deserved it, the Boston Celtics last
Yeah, let's listen to Charles talking to the Miami Heat's Gabe Vincent.
Whether we're at home or on the road, it's going to be a battle. You know, they're a really good team. They're a well-coached team. They got stars. They're not going to lay down. So, you know, we got to come in and handle business on Tuesday.
Yeah, clearly you didn't watch the game tonight. Yo, you was talking about well coached and don't lay down.
Lay down,
Go look at the tape again.
Oh, boy.
2 other lines he had last night. We have to show the highlights of this thing when they went to the highlights right after the game. And the other one, we have a crack staff if we could find any good Celtics highlights from last night. He was awesome.
Yeah, no, it is noticeable, and I don't want to rip the mothership, but it is noticeable, the ESPN games compared to the TNT games.
Oh, it's for hockey, too. You don't want to rip the mothership, I will. ESPN for basketball compared to TNT pales in comparison, and for hockey as well. That studio show runs circles around what they have for NHL.
Oh, who is it you like on that hockey show?
For TNT,
Biz?
Liam McHugh does a great job. Biz is phenomenal. He's like the Charles Barkley in the NHL world. And when they bring in the coaches, I thought was pretty cool. Like Rick Tocchet before he had to go back. They had John Cooper on. So it's a very good show. TNT does just a better job from a programming standpoint.
Right. And we know, obviously, the inside the NBA, we've talked about many times on this show, is legendary.
Better than the games.
The game, yeah, but the game, you know what? I love Harlan, too.
Oh, he's excellent.
Yeah, anytime he really gives that big game feel. Hey, I also enjoy Mark Jackson and Van Gundy going at each other on ESPN. But I
like Mark Jackson when he knows what he's doing with the MVP vote. Because him not putting Nikola Jokic in the top 5 is just a disgrace. And he forgot. He made a mistake, please.
Okay, he might get a job this offseason, ironically. The thing about this playoffs, they're both 3-0. So the final is set for June 1st. It's going to be June 1st anyway. So I was wondering, and what's in it for you? Does anyone really, both series are over. No one's ever come back from 3-0. What's in it for you, Zach Gelb, to see the Lakers steal a game?
Well, the Heat-Celtics series, nothing. That game put the Celtics out of their misery coming up tomorrow night. But my sister and my brother-in-law and then my niece, who's about 5 or 6 months old, they live out in Denver.
Okay.
So actually Centennial. And I was looking forward to going out there, because I was going to take off work on Wednesday, fly out there, go to Game 5 with my brother-in-law, do the show out there Thursday, and then fly back Friday before a big Memorial Day weekend. I'm still going to go out there on the trip because I want to see my niece and my sister and my brother-in-law, but I want to see Game 5. So can we? I'm not asking for much.
Yeah.
LeBron James, if you want to be considered the GOAT, and this is a conversation that I hate, you got to win tonight. Because I need to go to Denver for Game 5 and see the Nuggets go to the NBA Finals. That's what I want to see. I'm not asking for much.
Yeah.
I've been good this year. I've only ripped a few people. I just need Denver to lose tonight so I could have my Game 5 tickets come through.